Okay, so you want to get smart, fast, on the topics making waves, right? Cut through the noise.
That's the idea.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We are diving deep into the brand new 2026 BMW R 1300R.
Yeah, we've got a great source here, a really comprehensive look at this new Roadster.
The mission.
Pull out the key stuff, the really interesting bits, so you quickly get what makes this bike tick and where it fits in that whole naked bike scene.
All right, let's jump right in. The engine, that's always the heart of it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
A new 1300cc air-liquid cooled boxer. And the numbers, they sound punchy. 145 horsepower.
Yeah, and 110 pound-feet of torque. Pretty serious figures for a Roadster like this.
The article even mentions 0 to 60 in about 3.25 seconds. That's quick.
It really is. And what's really interesting is how they got that power. It's not just displacement.
Yeah.
They've actually gone for a larger bore, 106.5 millimeters, and a shorter stroke, 73 millimeters, plus a high compression ratio, 13.3.1.
Huh, shorter stroke. That usually means it likes to rev more, right? Compared to the older boxers.
Exactly. Traditionally, BMW Boxers often had that longer stroke, really good for low-down grunt. This suggests a shift.
So maybe a bit more lively up top, quicker throttle response.
That's likely the idea. More immediate feel, stronger pull at higher revs. It changes the character a bit.
And getting that power down, still the shaft drive.
Oh yeah, classic BMW shaft drive. Smooth, reliable, no chain lube needed.
Right. That's a big plus for some people.
Definitely. It's clean, consistent. Look, this whole engine upgrade, it really shows BMW wants this R1300R to be right at the sharp end of a tough market. They're not messing around.
Makes sense. Okay, engine covered. What about the tech? Bikes these days are packed with it.
They really are. Like computers on wheels, as you said.
This one gets a 6.5-inch TFT display standard. Full color, I assume?
Yep, full color. Pretty much expected at this level now, but it looks good. And the standard safety stuff is solid, too.
Like
dynamic traction control, DTC, engine drag torque control, you mentioned that earlier, and integral ABS Pro.
That's the cornering ABS.
That's the one. Standard, which is great baseline safety.
Okay, so that's the standard package.
Yeah.
But the options, that's often where the really cool stuff is.
Exactly. And here you can get some pretty advanced features. Adaptive cruise control, for one.
Wait, radar cruise on a naked bike? That's unusual?
Still fairly rare, yeah.
Yeah.
But BMW is putting it out there. Plus front collision warning and dynamic suspension adjustment, ESA, basically.
So you can really tailor it. That ESA, does it adjust damping on the fly?
Yeah, or you could select modes. It really adds another layer of refinement and control depending on the road or your mood.
And there's an automatic shift assistant. Clutchless shifting.
Both up and down, yep.
Yeah.
The Quick Shifter Pro, basically. Super convenient, makes riding smoother, especially in traffic or when you're pushing on a bit.
It's interesting, isn't it? How much convenience riders want mixed with that raw, naked bike feel.
It is. BMW clearly thinks there's a market for riders who want both the performance and these comfort and tech features. They wouldn't offer it otherwise.
Let's talk looks and feel. The design. It mentions a new octagonal LED headlight.
Yeah, quite distinctive. And the whole bike looks more compact, more sort of muscular, a sportier stance overall.
They've redone the frame, too. And the subframe. Aiming to centralize mass.
Correct. New mainframe using aluminum sheet metal and a die-cast aluminum subframe. It's all about getting the weight low and centered.
Which usually means quicker turning, more agile handling.
That's the goal. Centralizing mass makes a huge difference in how nimble a bike feels. Plus, the new frame construction likely makes it lighter overall, too. Another key factor for agility.
And the riding position. Any changes there?
Seems so. The article mentions a flatter handlebar and slightly rear-set foot pegs.
Suggests a bit more lean forward, better front-end feel.
Potentially, yeah. A more engaged posture, giving you better feedback, especially when cornering. But they also mentioned multiple seat options.
Ah, good, because comfort is key, isn't it? Especially if you plan on riding for more than an hour, one size definitely doesn't fit all.
Absolutely not. Offering different seat heights is crucial, makes the bike accessible and confidence-inspiring for more riders. It's smart ergonomics.
Okay, the elephant in the room, price. Starts at $16,595, is that right?
That's the US base price mentioned, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely in premium territory.
The article calls it high performance without being, quote, prohibitively expensive. Fair assessment.
I'd say so. Look, it's not cheap. But for what you're getting, the new engine, the tech potential, the BMW badge and engineering it lines up competitively against other high-end European nakeds. It's for serious riders making a significant investment.
Right. Okay, the source also dives into detailed specs. Always good for a closer look. We've hit the engine size, power, torque,
1300 cc, 124 horsepower, 110 pound-feet. Got it.
6-speed gearbox, shaft drive, check. But the suspension, BMW EVO telelever front and EVO paralever rear. Break that down for us non-engineers. What's the benefit?
Okay, so the telever front end, think of it as separating the steering from the suspension and braking forces.
Same.
Meaning, when you brake hard, especially mid-corner, the front doesn't dive as much as a conventional fork might. It stays more level, more stable.
Okay, I can see how that helps confidence. And the paralever rear?
That's mainly about controlling the effects of the shaft drive. It helps prevent the rear end from jacking up under acceleration or squatting too much under braking. Gives you better traction and a smoother feel, particularly over bumps.
So refinement and control, basically.
Exactly. It's sophisticated stuff aimed at providing a stable yet responsive ride.
The specs also mention a curb weight of 520 pounds. That seems pretty light for a 1300cc bike with a shaft drive.
It is quite good, yeah. Shows that focus on using lighter materials in the frame and subframe helps with that agility we talked about.
Top speed over 140 miles per hour and that 0-60 again, about 3.25 seconds. It really paints a picture of, well, excitement meets engineering.
That sums it up nicely. The engine's more compact but punchier, especially with that shorter stroke, making it rev quicker. And the chassis tech suspension, weight, it's all geared towards harnessing that power effectively and making it handle well.
The TFT display, 6.5 inches. Sounds comprehensive. Easy to navigate.
Should be, yeah. They usually use that BMW multi-controller wheel on the handlebar. Generally pretty intuitive once you get the hang of it. Access to all the riding modes, bike info, connectivity.
And that optional adaptive ride height
Right?
seems
Yeah.
really clever, especially for shorter riders or just maneuvering at low speed.
It is neat. It automatically lowers the bike slightly when you stop, making it easier to get your feet down flat, then raises back up when you get going.
Takes away that tippy-toe anxiety.
Precisely. Without messing up the handling or ground clearance when you're actually riding. It's a smart solution to a common issue.
So yeah, smart machine for modern riders seems fair. Let's dig into those features more. Riding modes. Standard are rain, road, dynamic.
Correct. Pretty standard fare now. Rain softens throttle response, increases traction control intervention. Road is your everyday setting. Dynamic sharpens things up.
And the optional Dynamic Pro. That's for fiddling.
Yeah, that's for the tweakers. Lets you customize things like throttle map, traction control level, engine braking, even wheelie control sensitivity. For riders who really know what they want.
Okay. And the standard safety net sounds robust. ABS Pro.
Cornering ABS. Big plus.
And big traction control.
Stability under acceleration.
Hill Start Control Pro.
Holds the brake on hills for easier starts. Surprisingly useful.
And engine drag torque control.
Prevents the rear wheel locking or hopping on aggressive downshifts. It all works together.
That adaptive ride height feature keeps popping up and automatically lowers and raises. Sounds like a genuinely useful innovation for confidence.
It really could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in stop-start traffic or if you're just not the tallest rider. Makes the bike feel less intimidating at low speeds.
And connectivity through the TFT navigation prompts, music, phone calls via Bluetooth, plus tire pressure monitoring, fuel range, all the expected info.
It's the modern dashboard, isn't it? Integrates everything. Reflects what riders expect now on a premium bike.
Lighting is full LED standard. Always good. But the optional adaptive turning light, Headlight Pro, that sounds like a real safety upgrade for night riding.
Oh, definitely. It physically aims the main beam into the corner as you lean the bike. Illuminates where you're going, not just straight ahead. Makes a big difference seeing through bends at night.
And the options list goes on. Quick Shifter Pro, heated grips, heated seat, keyless ride, even an emergency call system.
You can really load it up, tailor it exactly how you want it. More sporty, more comfortable, more convenient. Although,
Each option adds to that price tag.
naturally, it's easy to see how that base price could climb significantly.
Let's shift to aesthetics and comfort again. The design, bold yet minimalist exposed engine, looks aggressive.
It does. Very mechanical look, which suits a naked bike. And that new aluminum frame isn't just about performance, it's part of the visual identity too. Lighter and stiffer, remember?
Better handling, more stability. Got it. They also mentioned a lower fuel tank.
Yeah. Helps lower the center of gravity.
Yeah.
Makes the bike feel more planted, easier to flick side to side. It all contributes to that agile feeling.
And ergonomics. Sounds like they focused on versatility, natural posture, easy reach bars, adjustable pegs, and those seat options again. Standard height is 31.3 inches.
Around there, yes. But the options range from about 29.9 up to 33.5 inches. That's a huge range.
Really covers a lot of riders.
It does. Shows they want this bike to fit people well, whether they're commuting, doing weekend blasts, or even some light touring.
And the suspension, the tail-lever and parallel we discussed, provides that balance of comfort and precise feel.
That's the aim, yeah. To soak up bumps reasonably well, but still give you good feedback from the road. Plus, rider-focused details like optional heated grips, heated seat, maybe some small wind deflectors are available.
Okay, so let's try and pull the advantages together. What are the big selling points?
Well, number one has to be that engine. Powerful, 145 HP, but likely smooth and tractable thanks to the boxer design and tuning.
Right, then the tech package. Even standard it's good, but the options.
Especially that optional radar cruise. Still a standout feature on a naked bike. Plus the riding modes, cornering ABS, traction control. It's very sophisticated.
Handling should be improved too, right? Lighter, stiffer frame, better mass centralization.
Yeah, expected to be noticeably more agile and precise than its predecessor.
Adjustable ergonomics, catering to different riders, that's a big plus.
Definitely. And overall, premium build quality, fit, and finish. You expect that from BMW.
Plus, all those little safety and rider aid details, hill start, tire pressure monitoring, that adaptive cornering light option.
It adds up to a very complete modern package.
But there are always drawbacks, aren't there? Let's be balanced.
Of course.
The price, we keep coming back to it. Over $16 5K base, easily over $18 K, maybe pushing $20 with lots of options.
That's the biggest hurdle for many, yes.
Yeah.
It's a serious chunk of change. Puts it against some very capable, maybe slightly less expensive competitors if you don't need all the BMW tech.
And the complexity, all those electronics might be a bit much for some riders.
Could be. Some people prefer a simpler machine. Plus, complexity can sometimes mean, more potential things to go wrong down the line, maybe higher maintenance costs.
Which is another point mentioned, potential for higher BMW maintenance costs compared to some Japanese brands, perhaps.
Historically, that's sometimes been the case, yeah.
Yeah.
Specialized parts, dealer labor rates, something to factor in.
Also noted, maybe not ideal for lots of two-up touring in standard form. Naked bikes aren't always the best for passengers long distance.
Generally true. Less wind protection, potentially less comfy pillion seat, unless you add specific accessories.
And maybe just overkill for someone who only rides in the city.
You could argue that, yeah. Do you really need 145 horsepower and sophisticated suspension just for commuting? Probably not, but some people just want the top-spec machine.
Okay, quickly hitting some FAQs the article covered. Not for beginners.
Definitely not. Too powerful, too advanced.
Top speed.
Around 140 miles per hour, maybe a bit more. Plenty fast.
Cruise control available.
Yes, in the optional packages, including the adaptive version.
Good for commuting.
It can commute, sure, but it probably shines brightest on more open, twisty roads.
Starting price again?
Around $16,595 in the U.S. Options cost extra.
Fuel economy.
Estimated around 45-50 millipigrams. Pretty decent for the performance. So those are useful, quick answers.
Right. So the good wrap-up question. Is it worth it? The article seems to think so, calling it a blend of pure muscle with refined German engineering.
Sounds about right. It's clearly aimed at experienced riders who want high performance but also value comfort, technology, and that BMW refinement and style.
That 145 FPP engine, the rider aids, the new frame, it's a compelling package for spirited rides, weekend fun, maybe even some longer trips if you spec it right.
But definitely not for the inexperienced. It's a serious motorcycle for serious riders. And you pay a premium for that combination of capability and tech.
So there we have it. A pretty thorough deep dive into the 2026 BMW R 1300R. Hopefully you feel like you've got a solid handle on what this bike is all about now.
Yeah, the key features, the pros, the potential cons. It should give you a good picture.
And maybe just a final thought to leave you with. When you think about this mix, all that power, but also all that sophisticated tech, like the adaptive cruise, the smart suspension, what kind of ride does that bring to your mind? Does that picture match up with what you look for in a bike, how you actually ride? It's interesting to think about how different machines offer, completely different kinds of deep dive experiences on the road.